Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is another podcast, Juve from the Six. It's Chris. Welcoming back Leo, who missed out on podcast number 3. Podcast number 3 that was kind of briefly on the YouTube channel until it got taken down due to copyright infringement, and I take complete blame for that. For highlights that
man, those little highlights were pretty sweet.
They were cool, man, but apparently YouTube said no, they're not sweet. So that got taken down. We didn't end up doing a podcast 3.5 just because we just didn't have time.
Yeah, a couple games. Want to let those play out first, right?
For sure. So anyways, what we'll do is we're going to run through kind of just a mixed match agenda. We're going to go through Juve versus Chelsea, Juve versus Torino. But I kind of want to put a lot of focus more so on the upcoming international break. We have a very, very, very big game. Mancini's opportunity to win another trophy. Whether you want to consider Nations League a trophy that matters or not, that's your prerogative.
You get money for it.
Hey, man, and it's a trophy, right? So, because what's going to happen if he doesn't win it? He's going to get shit on. Or if he doesn't win it and then go on and win World Cup, it's like, oh, well, you could have won 3 in a year. So, you know what? You keep this one serious. But before we jump into that, I'm going to get you to hit that like and subscribe button. But what we're going to do is let's talk European, UCL, UEFA Champions League, Juventus. That is perfect 2-0 start, which is quite shocking, taking down the European giants, the defending Champions League champions. Leo, what's going on with Juve in Champions League? It's a different beast.
I love it.
Yeah, man. It's fun to watch.
It flourishes under Champions League and European soccer, right?
Yeah, I agree, man.
Why this team can't get it together in Serie A, but then they go and play a great game against Malmo, and against Chelsea, it wasn't the greatest. It was scary at times, but it is Chelsea. They're one of the top teams in the world.
Yeah, but then you also think to yourself, that's just Italian soccer, right? It's just you score that goal and sit back, right? You let them do everything, and you try to counter, especially when it's a team that I don't want to say is better, but is that level of you, right? Like, I think they respected them a lot, and they gave them their space, right? And it was their best defensive display of the season. Matthijs de Ligt, we talked about him in the last podcast. I don't want to see him leave. I know you think he's going to leave. I think he's going to leave. Not so much willingly, but more so of, financially he's going to leave. But man.
Like my kind of conspiracy theory after what I think is going to happen with Juve.
Say it. Say it.
No, we'll talk about that after. We'll save it for after we talk about Chelsea.
Okay.
He shut down Lukaku, him and Bonucci all game.
Yeah, man.
And same with Juve's midfield, just trumped over Chelsea's and shut down Kovacic and Jorginho like that was amazing to see.
Unreal. Locatelli, one of his best matches once again. It just seems like every match he plays is the best match that he's ever played in a Juventus sweater, right? So it's like the player ratings are only out of 10, but this guy's soon going to be topping up that 10, and we're going to be like, oh yeah, it was 11, it was 12, it was 13. But you know what? He's played awesome. He shut down Jorginho. I mean, it's kind of fun seeing that because being Italian, you have a midfielder from the Italian national team against a midfielder from the Italian national team, and they cancel each other out, so to speak, right? So it's like they didn't really cancel each other out. Jorginho was really nowhere to be seen because of what Locatelli was able to do.
Yeah, look, I can't believe how defensively sound he is, right?
He's unreal. Against Spezia, he had that huge goal line clearance, and he's just been unreal ever since throwing on that black and white jersey, man. Before we touch on the Juve versus Torino game, I just want to bring out that this past game he did score. He scored a beautiful, beautiful winning goal. And it actually, according to Juventus.com, the stat of the game was, with his goals against Sampdoria and Torino, this was the first time in his career that he scored in back-to-back games. So it just seems like, you know what, every game there's just something new with him, right? So it's like top to bottom against Chelsea, there was no one player that was glaringly bad. I just don't think you can't say any of those players are bad just because they played so defensive, right? So, but other than that, I think Juve did what they had to do. I was talking to Sajish about this game, and I pretty much said, if whoever wins this game can very well win the first place, right? So, because you think to yourself, is Juve going to go and lose to Zenit? I mean, the worst that could probably happen is a tie in Russia, but in Italy, they're probably going to win, right? And then you're going to look at the flip with Chelsea, and they're most likely going to take the back-to-back games against Malmo. You would assume so, right? But right, and then say you go back to Chelsea, Juve lose to Chelsea. It all depends on goal difference at that point in time. So, I mean, and whatever that game ends in, right? So, this game was very telling for what's to come. Juve head into a back-to-back against Zenit, but they did what they had to do against Chelsea, which was snatch those 3 points. Chelsea was looking for at least a tie, but they did it. Juve took the points, and we couldn't expect anything more from the boys.
Yeah, it was awesome to see, and I even liked Chiesa. What a game he had, man! He's a horse, that kid.
That guy, you know what, man?
Awesome to see that goal, 9 seconds in, fastest goal in UCL history, right? I think it is.
That's apparently what they tweeted, and did you see his reaction when he scored? He like had this look of like, did I just score? Like he had this, like he was, what did I just do? But like, I mean, you know what? Him and Bernadeschi showed some. I'm gonna use this word, but I don't mean exactly this. But they showed strange chemistry. Not strange as in strange, but it was a pleasure to see. I wouldn't have expected Chiesa and Bernadeschi to have that.
I think everyone was questioning Allegri's tactics. There's like, you have goals in 44 games with PSG.
Yeah.
Why didn't you want to bench for a game like this? But yeah, man, it worked. Worked out.
I think what it comes down to as well is you only have two number 9s, because Kyle George, I don't 100% know if he is listed as a striker.
I think he's center forward.
Center forward. Okay, so he's
a future Dybala's replacement.
I mean, that's what they say, right? But okay, so I mean, they have him.
But
yeah, they have him, but I know he was injured, right? So
yeah.
Do you play Keane and then think to yourself, you know what, we have no one else to come on for him? So maybe the tactic of not starting a number 9 and then bringing on Keane, which is what they did, is that the way of going, just so then there's that fresh legs, right? I mean, Keane didn't score. He had a couple opportunities where he had the counter, but didn't score. But I guess Allegri got it right. I mean, we're just two guys that do a podcast. Allegri's the one that's getting paid, and I mean, we question him a lot, and I think with good reason we question him a lot. But I mean, against Chelsea, he got all moves correct defensively, even when he brought in Chiellini later on. Like
76.
And it was just a wall, right? He was just a wall. He helped. I mean, the only time, I mean, you kind of got to credit either credit Juve's midfield or the lack of movement from Tuchel, but like they didn't really give Lukaku any real opportunity. He had a couple opportunities that when he got the ball, I mean, he turned Bonucci on that one that created that scoring chance, but other than that, they didn't really get it into him, correct? So, I mean, you either credit the midfield on that, or, I mean, you credit the lack of looking for him by Chelsea. Right?
You credit the midfield on that one.
I think you do, because I think you do, because you definitely they did well keeping them to the outside. When
we were talking about this earlier too, that was like the first time in a year where Juve showed like they were willing to lay it all on the line to win, right?
Well, you know what, man, a lot of firsts for the year happened this past week. I mean, pretty sure it felt like the first in the year that they got a clean sheet in Serie A as well. So it's like maybe they're starting to catch on to the tactics. Maybe they're starting to understand, right? Allegri's here. He's back. He's here to undo 2 years of, we're going to say 3 years of shit, because, I mean, he had the first year with Ronaldo, really didn't get to do much after that because he was gone. Saudi came in 1 year, gone. Pirlo come in 1 year, gone. So he's here to redo the last 3 years and employ what he wants to employ. Maybe do things that were supposed to happen if Ronaldo wasn't in question. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I got a question for you. This is obviously not something that's been talked about. This is literally something that just popped into my head now. Chiesa. Now, there's obviously they're still trying to get the Dybala contract signed and all that, but if they don't sign him, do you kiss him goodbye and think to yourself, you have Chiesa and he's a perfect follow-up to Dybala? Because he's played essentially Dybala's position since Dybala got hurt, which is that second striker role, right? He's not a second striker. To my knowledge, he's never played in a second striker role, but Juve might have something here.
I think he's more dangerous on the wing, to be honest with you. I'd rather see him in that position. I think Dybala's replacement is Kyle George.
Yeah,
I think that's why they brought him in. Even with he played with Santos, right? He's always been that supporting striker. So
yeah, okay.
If they use Dybala, then just let Kyle George run with it, and you have Chiesa.
Yeah, okay.
Keane, Morata, maybe if they want to buy him out.
Yeah, makes sense. That's why I just thought, I was thinking, fuck, Chiesa, the guy just seems like he can play every attacking role.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
someone got dangerous in that role, right? And I think that's what Juve got it wrong with Bernardeschi as well. They tried to change him into Dybala's position, play Quartista one time with Sadi.
Yeah.
Put him on the left side when he's supposed to be on the right side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
no, you're right. I just think, you know what?
Right?
Yeah, that's true. You know what's nice to see too is the best signings over the last couple of years have been Italian players. And we were talking about this over the phone, where it seems to now Juve starting to look back internally in the boot versus signing from outside. Yeah, okay, Kyle George, I get it. He's from Brazil. You have all these other young guys that they brought in, but it just, or that they're linked to. But it seems like now they're starting to focus back on the Italian national team, because bringing over Locatelli, bringing over Chiesa, Bernardeschi, who's become pretty vital with Italy, Bonucci, Chiellini. They have I can never remember that kid's name that they brought in from who?
Pellegrini,
right? So a lot of these players,
any of their young Italian midfielders, which is great to see.
Yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Did you get my message about Mandragora, captain, on loan from Juventus, the captain of Torino for that? I mean, for that game, because Belotti was injured. But how crazy is that, right?
Yeah, that was nuts. That was funny.
Yeah, man. You know what? I don't know what Juve's plan is with Mandragora, but I like to see him back with Juve. I always liked him. I even followed him when he played at Pescara. I absolutely love him. I hope to see him back with Juve sometime soon. I don't know exactly what their plans are for him, but I would like to see him over Rabiot.
Yeah.
Right. So
Rabiot was not good against Chelsea.
No, he's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy's playing out of position. Juve, they employ only center midfielders. They have absolutely no set left or right midfielders. They just have a bunch of center mids. So, I mean, you can't really blame Rabiot for not being at his best. But, I mean, at this point in time, how haven't you gained that knowledge in a separate role, right? Like, what's his name? Allegri claims as a player, you got to feel the game and know when to defend. But how about when you're played out of position? Shouldn't you be practicing that position? And at this point in time, you're 6-8 games deep, including Europe. Shouldn't you be a little bit better at that role, right? So Rabiot, I mean,
what's his actual role? It's not regista. What is it?
I think he's considered center mid. So not regista, not attacking mid, but like he would play in like a 4-3-3 kind of form, and he would play right in the center. He'd be the first line of defense, but like for as far as midfield, but he's not a regista, right? Like he's not looking to play that from a deep line playmaker role. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm starting to get. I think we're starting to see certain players that don't really fit in Juventus anymore. Weston McKennie, dude, his game on the weekend against Torino was just atrocious.
How he missed that opportunity.
Face palm and a half, man. He had a
He's
few.
going to West Ham in January. Don't worry.
I hope so, because you know what? It's really unfortunate because we spoke about this. I think I mentioned this the last podcast.
He looked good with Pirlo.
Sorry?
He looked good under Pirlo.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, just second half of last season. I mean, as the team took a dip, he took a dip, and then he just hasn't looked up since. It just keeps on dipping. You know what I mean? Which is really unfortunate because I thought we had a diamond in the rough. I really thought we had someone that was under the radar that we signed because he was linked to no one, not that I know of, when he was Schalke, but now I know why. I think people saw exactly what he was capable of, and I think Pirlo is a very he likes to give players chances, and that's what I mean. What's his name, Bernadeschi? He knew he wasn't looking good as a winger, or he was coming off a bad year under Sarri. So he's like, let's try to transition him into a wing back, right? And gave him ample opportunity to go there, and he just didn't look good. So just Pirlo gives me the impression that he likes to give people second chances.
Yeah.
And third chances and fourth chances and fifth, right? But
yeah, go ahead. Go nuts, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I mean, all in all, Juve's back in eighth, back in the top half of that table. I think eighth is what I saw last. Let me just quickly take a quick. This is now officially the end of week 7 or match day 7. So let's check it out here. Sorry, they're in 7th. Oh, Atalanta fell underneath them. So right now they are a spot out of Europe. They actually are a spot out of Europe. Who would have thought that after the start that they had? They are now tied with Lazio in that 6th spot, and they find themselves 1 point out of 5th and 4 points out of 4th, and that 4th place is Roma. So they're climbing, but I think with the win today, Milan proves and Napoli proves, Inter's win against Sassuolo, it's going to be hard to get into that top 5, top 4, even top 3 of the table, right? So it's not going to be an easy climb, but I mean, hey, it is what it is. That's why there's 38 weeks of a season, because who knows, right?
Hopefully
a lot of
steamrolling now,
right? A lot of
international at the worst time.
Yeah, I know. You think to yourself, hopefully this doesn't really derail us. But I mean, hopefully when we come back out of this break, we're gonna have Artur back. We're gonna have Dybala back before the end of the month. Same with Morata. Yeah. So maybe, hopefully, they're just gonna be reinforcements when they come back, right? So,
playing after the international break, do you know?
Yes, they are playing. They are playing Roma on October 17th.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's huge because a win there. Sorry?
In Rome they're playing?
Yes, they are playing in Rome. A win there will get us 1 point away from them. And that's going to be a good matchup. That's Mourinho versus Allegri, 2 mastermind defensive coaches.
Yeah. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, man. Whatever team scores first, they're probably going to win because the other team's just going to park the bus, right? So
it's either going to be an all-out attacking game. It's going to be like 4-4.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. But you know what? I'm happy with where Juve is, 3-2-2, especially after the start. But I want to put Juve to bed for now, and I want to move into where we're coming up to. We're coming up into an international break, a very big one for Italy as we look into the Nations League. Another trophy up for grabs for Roberto Mancini. Same squad called up,
right, against Spain.
Yeah, so they got a game against Spain. Winner goes against the winner of France or Belgium. The cool thing about this whole thing is it's in Italy. So Juve, especially their players, do not have to leave the continent. It's all there, right? So some last minute changes on the squad. So the squad that was called up was your typical squad that's expected. They had the usual, let me just bring it up here. Donnarumma Meret, and Sirigu in
Yeah.
goal. Defense, they had Acerbi, Bastoni, Bonucci, Chiellini, Di Lorenzo, Emerson, and Toloi. In the midfield, they had Barella, Cristante, Jorginho, Locatelli, Pellegrini, Pessina, and Verratti. And then up front, they had Bradeschi, Chiesa, Immobile, Insigne, and Raspadori. Okay? That's what they called up. That was about a week ago. Some has changed, though, as
Immobile is injured.
Immobile is injured, so they brought up Keane.
Yeah.
Toloi and Pessina was carted off today. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw bits and pieces of the game, but no, I did not see that.
So it was a clean tackle from Tomori. Just unfortunately took him out. I think it was a thigh that he strained on the tackle. So he got stretched off for that. Zaniolo was also injured this past weekend and has pulled out, but he wasn't a part of the original call-ups, I don't think. No, he wasn't. But and Calabria has been called in to cover for Toloi. So
did you say Zaniolo's in the squad?
Well, no, he wasn't called up to the squad, but he. Oh, okay. So according to the reports here, he was going to be called up. They were planning on calling him up for the squad, but then got injured. So he's actually not.
Today.
Huh?
He played today for Roma.
Yeah, no. Apparently he got hurt, and Sandro Tonali is going to come up for him.
Really?
Yeah, so he must have got hurt in that game. Not too sure what the injury was, though. It doesn't say here, but
I watched the game. He got taken off 86th minute, and Al Sharawi came in. But he didn't look injured, so I don't know. Weird.
I'm gonna see if there's any reports on.
Anyways,
Doesn't say.
being hurt now change Mancini's plans? Does he go false nine, or does he start Keane or Raspadori as your number 9?
I think he goes. I think he goes with his number 9. The number 9 he chooses. As much as yes, Keane is a part of Juventus, I think you give the nod to Raspadori.
I think so too.
I think Raspadori, because he's been there. You know what I mean? He actually played in the last qualifiers. You reward him, right? So I would go with Raspadori. I think he deserves that call up. I think he deserves that start. But I mean, if he's not doing anything, you bring on Keane, right? So I personally think this might spell the end for Immobile, because if he does something or Keane does something, what do you do with Immobile?
Yeah, I mean, you always got to call him up to have him there,
which is fine. But for starting, I don't know if you start him, right? I don't know if you start him. I think you I don't know, man, because he is your guy, but he doesn't perform for Italy. And then if you got these two young guys that are performing, you got to go with the performers.
Got to go with them. I know. No, I agree.
It's going to be something to see, man, because it's slowly becoming the end, in my eyes, the end of the line for Immobile, because we can't. I understand we just won the Euro Cup without a number 9 or without a producing number 9, but that's not going to always work. You know what I mean? And
no, teams know who it is. They're going to figure them out, right?
Exactly. And then how long? Like, look at Insigne. Insigne, as much as he had a good Euro Cup and he's had a good season, he's not really been the utmost performer for Italy as well. So it's like, right? So if Immobile can't do it, Insigne is not going to do it. And then at that point in time, like, you call it anyways. That's just I just think it's starting to. Italy's become so deep that a lot of these players are going to be in question. I have a feeling Mancini is sticking with the same Italy for these call-ups, especially for Nations League, because it's like, hey, you know what? You helped us win Euro Cup. You deserve this chance here. But you might start seeing a revolution, so to speak, something that's going to change in the Italy camp. You're going to start seeing Zaniolo getting his opportunities. You're going to start seeing Keane, Raspadori getting their opportunities to start and take these jobs from underperforming players. Right. The only players I feel like that are kind of set in stone is our midfield: Verratti, Jorginho, Barella. Those guys and those guys only.
Yeah.
But
that'll never change, I don't think.
That will never change. But then it's like, okay, what happens if Locatelli starts to perform for Juventus? I mean, he's been their best player. How do you factor him into the midfield, right? Do you then change formations? Is 4-3-3 going to be the formation of the future that Mancini rolls with? Or does he start to feel, you know what, I can actually roll a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-1-2?
He played a lot, right? He always played that 4-2-3-1.
Yeah. So it's going to be something to see, man. Italy's become really deep. I never thought I'd actually have a conversation with anybody, with friends, with random people about sports, about talking soccer and saying Italy's deep, because usually you have your starting 11, you have maybe a couple other players that are top players on their team, and that's it. We're talking about
you can feel two teams, man.
Yeah, man.
You got Chiesa and Zaniolo in the same position.
Yeah. The good thing though is Chiesa can play the left side, right? So
he can, yeah.
He can always move onto that side, which is fine, and then you can still factor in Zaniolo. But that's the thing, though, man, is you won with the team we won with. But really, was that the best team we have? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys were hurt. Some guys left at home.
Yeah, man. Like you still have Sensi that got hurt before the tournament started was left off.
Yeah.
He deserves to be there. And what's going to happen with him when he comes back? Dude, this squad is deep. This squad is super deep.
Played pretty much every single qualifier.
Yeah.
So he was actually going to be there over Chiesa.
Yeah.
He would have been seen, right? He would have started every game there, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I agree, man. I agree. So it's like we're heading into a younger squad change. Like even Tonali, bro. Tonali's been unreal for Milan so far.
Yeah.
Right? He's finally come into his own. It's crazy, man. I think personally, Mancini is probably going to start having the hardest job in Italy, and that's what does he do with this squad? Because he's going to have literally so many players at his disposal, and so many players that deserve to play.
That midfield, the midfield's so deep. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Jorginho, Verratti, Barella, Tonali, Locatelli. Yeah, he almost got to switch to like a 3-5-2 just to get all these guys in there.
Just to get them all there, man. It's crazy, right? Like, because when do you actually make, like, in game, if Verratti's not performing, it's like, do you sit there and think to yourself, okay, I got to bring in Locatelli. Let me take out Verratti. You're not going to take Verratti out in the 30th minute, right? And then you think to yourself, oh my God, 50th minute, 60th. Well, if I take him out, Verratti can play a full 90. It's like it's crazy, man. They actually have a deep squad, man. I'm totally beyond words of how deep this team is. So we got Spain coming up. Mm-hmm. How do we measure up against Spain? Because they did tie Spain. Okay. Yes, we beat Spain.
Yeah.
And there was a couple chances that I think thankfully we had Donnarumma in that, and obviously he's going to be there this time around. But how do Italy factor against Spain? Because they're also going to be down Morata, and they really don't have a number 9.
That's going to help.
Yeah, because they have no other number 9 after that. Just like against Italy, they played the false 9 until they brought in Morata.
It's going to be a tight one again. I really think it's going to go down to the wire, battle the midfield.
Yeah.
It's going to be that one breakthrough goal that Chiesa had, right? Remember? 60th?
Yep. Did they call up, do you know if they called up what's his name? Busquets?
I have not looked at their lineup, so I couldn't tell you. But, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be tight.
Yeah, I'm going to check this out now. So, Spain's call-ups. Are you kidding me?
What's it saying?
I love how oh, there it is. Okay. So they're gonna have. So Moreno and Morata are gone because of injuries, as you know. They honestly have the same squad, so they're gonna have. Um, oh wow, Danny Almo's out.
So they got a pretty beaten up lineup.
Yeah, Jordi Alba's out. Carvajal's out. Wow, so they're actually going to be so. Italy has a very good chance to take advantage of a very beat up squad. So I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully we do, because
When's the finals for Nations League? So if they
right after on the weekend.
like a Sunday, I'm assuming, or Saturday.
I can hold on one second. Let me pull that up. I'm pretty sure it's on the Nations League.
I would
We
assume
got the Nations League on the Nations League on October 6th against Spain. The following day is Belgium versus France, and then October 10th is the third place game, and then the finals.
Last Sunday.
Yeah. So I mean, that's not bad, man. That's Turkey Day. That's Thanksgiving. That would go. Wow.
Yeah, perfect.
I can't wait for that, man, because honestly, I love international break. I love watching Italy. You know how I am. I know how you are. We love Juve, but you kind of think to yourself, that national team just a little bit more. You know what I mean? It's like we always have a very subjective view when we talk. We always say, oh, Juve this, but like for all of Italy, for the Italian national team, this is needed, right? Like we always have that very subjective view. I always try to put Serie A as a whole in front of Juve. I mean, that might sound bad as a Juve fan, and I mean, I don't care. I love Juve. It's tatted all over my body, but I always look at the benefit of Italian soccer, right? So when you're talking about Italian teams in Europe, yeah, you know what? I don't want Inter to go far. I can't stand Inter, but all the other teams, you want to see them go far, right? Because you just feel closer to to the nationality of being Italian than you do as a Juventus fan.
Oh, everyone benefits, right? Everyone gets more money. Teams get richer.
Yeah.
Money gets poured into players and to programs, and it just helps out the whole country when it comes to the sport, right?
Yeah. So going back to Italy, so set up your what's your squad looking like against Spain?
Donnarumma, obviously, will get the nod. Di Lorenzo, Bonucci. I think Acerbi's going to start, and Emerson.
Yeah.
Your midfield will be Jorginho, Varela, Verratti.
Okay.
It's front three: Chiesa, Raspadori, Insigne.
Okay. For myself, I agree with you totally. I would just take out Acerbi for Chiellini. I kind of think Chiellini's going to get the nod on that one. Midfield, not touching that. And then up front, I do agree with you, right to left. The only one I would probably say that might change is, no, I would probably say, Chiesa, Raspadori, and Insigne is what you said, right? Yeah, I agree with that too. Looking forward to that. Going into some other little things here with Juventus, I just wanted to talk about. Let me pull up. So player ratings from my weekend's game. I don't know if you have any player ratings that you want to share, but I'm not going to bore everybody with the player ratings. But all in all, Juventus, they're looking like they're getting better, back to where they should be, or the struggles are going to be. Draws 2, wins 2, loses and draws 1 or 2, right? So we might see a little back and forth.
Like I said in the last podcast I was on, it's just an awkward time for Juve, right? They're waiting for all these contracts to expire to really start building.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Maybe they're just trying to show what they have. I mean, you're playing McKinney from the start. He didn't look too good, as we said. Bentancur has gotten better. You're playing Rabiot on a left mid. Maybe you're trying to showcase what he can do, and you're trying to get maybe someone to come in and buy him. But all in all, on Sunday or on Saturday, Juve's starting 11 the highlights were probably Manuel Locatelli, Federico Chiesa, Matthias de Ligt, and Alexandro. It just seems to be the same three people.
Keane had a good game.
Who did?
Keane.
I think Keane, he had opportunities in the first half. You would have liked to see him. The first one he had, you would have liked to see him put that one away.
Yeah.
What worries me about Keane is he's not going to be given much of an opportunity because Morata's our starter. And it just seems like now without Morata, he's not getting much of an opportunity regardless. You would think he would be playing longer than 45 minutes, right? Yeah. Credit Cuadrado when he came on, team changed. But I don't know, man. I would have liked to see him do a little more. He's back with Juve, back to where he started, back under a coach that gave him his opportunity. So you kind of hope that changes for him.
Yeah, I'm pulling for him. I really hope he's successful with Juve. And I really hope Allegri uses him well, right?
Yeah. No, for sure, man. I agree. But other than that, I mean, successful weekend for Juve, successful week for Juve. Yep. We're heading into the international break. Italy versus Spain. Hopefully, Belgium or France for the finals, not for the third place game. Other than that, I have nothing else I want to talk about unless you have anything on your mind.
I'm good there. Let's have a great game Wednesday. Maybe talk about the finals and Italy winning the finals on Monday.
On Monday, yeah, man. I hear you on that one. Well, thank you very much for joining, Leo. I really do truly appreciate it. Once again, I'm going to get you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. And anyone that has ideas of what we could talk about on these podcasts, just pop them into the comment section down below. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Juve from the 6th, Chris, Leo, and we'll see you for the next podcast.
Take care, everyone.
Bye, guys.